Over the last few weeks, I've been testing 4 mineral spray sunscreens so you don't have to. I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate putting on sunscreen. And as an autistic person, I hate the sensory experience of slapping on like gloopy, thick creams. So I tend to gravitate towards the sprays because I find them a lot easier. But as you may know, if you clicked on this video, mineral spray sunscreens are pretty hard to come by. And then when you do find one, it's not always very good. Oftentimes it's just the thick cream in a spray form. So you just spray it and it's like a big glob of cream on your arm. And then it's like, well, what was the point of the spray anyway? So if you know, you know. So if you're like me, who's spent hours researching sunscreens and at this point hundreds of dollars trialing lots of sunscreens, then this video is for you. Keep watching. Another added bonus is that all 4 of the sunscreens I've tested are vegan and cruelty free, which is, if you watch my channel, is something that's very important to me. So today I'll be sharing my reviews of the Attitude Lightweight Mineral Lotion, the Boo Bamboo Adult Natural Sunscreen Spray, the ThinkSport All Sheer Mineral Sunscreen Spray, and last but not least, the Blue Lizard Sensitive Sunscreen Spray. So for each of these sunscreens, I'll share some specs, my first impressions, and then any additional thoughts I have as I'm kind of testing them over a week or so. I tried to give each of them at least a week to get kind of like a fully formed opinion about it to share. And then I'm going to rate each sunscreen based on my criteria. And then at the end, I'll do a comparison of all 4 sunscreens and I'll crown my favorite mineral spray sunscreen. So what are the criteria? First up, ease of application. So this is basically like, how easy is it to use? Is it a good spray? How does the packaging hold up over time? Is it easy to spray on and then easy to blend in? Next up, white cast. Since this is probably what most of you are interested in seeing, I actually pulled this out as its own category. Yeah, so pretty self-explanatory. How much of a white cast does the sunscreen leave on the skin, if any? Next, experience of wear. So this one is different from application because it's more about like over time, over the course of the day, over the course of multiple wears across the week. How does the sunscreen feel on my skin? Does it leave any residue on my skin or clothes? Is it easy to wash off in the shower? Does it have like a smell? Yeah, just how does it overall feel? And of course, in this category, I'll factor in whether it's an effective sunscreen. So did I burn? Did I feel protected in the sun while wearing this sunscreen? And finally, value for money. So this one is also pretty self-explanatory. Do I think that this sunscreen provides good value for the cost? So for this one, I'll factor in the SPF factor, how much you get in the bottle, and how long it feels like it's lasting me. Like how much do I need to use each time? Does it feel like I'm getting through the bottle really quickly? All that kind of stuff. Okay, I think that's enough yapping for now. So let's dive straight into the sunscreen reviews. First up is the Attitude sunscreen. It comes in this snazzy bottle, a little bit different than other sunscreens I've tried. And my very first impression is that it's actually more of a squirt bottle than a spray, so a little bit different. And the liquid is quite runny. It's a little bit drippy, as you can see, very thin, but it's very easy to blend out onto the skin and it leaves little to no white cast, which is amazing. It also smells amazing. I think there's a few scents you can choose from for this one. I think I picked the tropical one and it's such a nostalgic sunscreen smell for me. Highly recommend. It felt really nice on the skin. It didn't feel drying or thick and sticky. It felt really nice and almost moisturizing actually. Hello, it's been a couple of hours since I applied the Attitude sunscreen. And I thought I'd give you a little update. I've actually reapplied it as well because I just went to the park to do a little bit of reading. Yeah, so far so good. It has a nice like feel to it. It doesn't feel as sticky as some of the other sunscreens I've used before, and it really doesn't have any white cast, which is amazing. I'll show you. But a lot of the mineral sunscreens I've used in the past kind of leave like a white, almost like chalky texture on your skin and over time kind of like really dry out my skin. But this one so far I'm not getting that. And it kind of just leaves a, I don't know, like a bit of a silky smooth feel on the skin, which is definitely nicer than cakey and dry. So I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of like a shiny sheen on my skin, but definitely no chalkiness or white cast. Sometimes I get that kind of like suffocating sunscreen feeling of just feeling like caked in a really thick sunscreen. And I like that this one just feels light and thin, but also it's still 50 SPF. I still feel protected. This one does kind of apply quite thin, so it kind of makes me feel like I need more of it, which yeah, it kind of feels like I need to apply a lot and use a lot to reapply as well. So I'm curious to see how long the bottle will last. Also, Theo, my dog, he's sleeping. He likes the smell of it because he keeps coming up to me and licking me. So it's got the dog seal of approval as well so far. So it's been a couple more days of using the Attitude sunscreen, and I still really like it. The only thing that's kind of annoying, I filmed a clip the other day and you can kind of see it now. The sunscreen kind of like builds up on the top of the kind of spray part, and it kind of like gets all over your hands and the bottle a little bit, but I'm not too annoyed by that because I feel like most sunscreens, like it's just a little bit messy to put on, and like it gets all over your hands because you're applying it and then your hands are greasy. So I'm not gonna be too hard on it critically for that, but just a note. Also, I used it yesterday at a like obstacle course foam race that we went to, which was really fun. It was like a 5K with like inflatables and water and foam and all that, and we used it there and it worked really well. It didn't run, it didn't like get in our eyes or anything. We didn't burn. Also, my partner used it the last couple of days, and especially like on his legs. Sometimes the mineral sunscreens are annoying to put on, like if you have hairy legs, or it just kind of like gets all like caught up in the hair. And he said that this is the best mineral sunscreen that he's tried so far. So really strange update about the Attitude sunscreen. It seems like after a few weeks of using this, the grease from my hands, like from applying the sunscreen and then spraying more, is kind of destroying the text that's printed onto the bottle. And the way that I realized that this was happening is that I was finding tiny little white letters on my body after I applied the sunscreen, and I was really confused at first, but they're literally coming off the bottle onto my hand and then transferring onto my skin. Can you see that's a tiny T? There's a tiny C on my finger. Oh, another T, which is so random and weird and kind of annoying because I was really enjoying this sunscreen. So that's definitely something to note, that the bottle, the print doesn't seem to be sunscreen proof, I guess. The grease just, after a while, makes them come off, and it's really annoying like applying it now because I am super self-conscious of having letters all over me, and it makes it a kind of more stressful experience, which is kind of annoying. Kind of a unfortunate update for this sunscreen. Time for the ratings. Application, it was very easy to apply and it felt nice on the skin, giving this 5 out of 5. I did not notice any white cast at all, even after reapplication, so another 5 out of 5. For experience, the small annoyances with the packaging lower this down to 4 out of 5. Value for money, again, based on the packaging, giving this 4 out of 5. Overall, my rating for the Attitude sunscreen averages to 4.5 out of 5 stars, a very strong start. Okay, next up is the Boo Bamboo Sun Care Natural Sunscreen Spray. So this is a more traditional kind of sunscreen spray bottle. My first impression was, wow, a lot comes out with each spray. And as you can see, it's very white, and it does take a while to fully blend it in, and there's definitely a white cast. I will say it's a little bit helpful that it's more visible because you can see where you've applied and where you haven't. So I guess that's a pro for this kind of sunscreen. I don't know if you can also tell, but there's a lot of spray that kind of just gets lost as I'm applying this. Good morning. It's another day and another clip from my bathroom. I wanted to give a little update on the Boo Bamboo sunscreen I've been testing for the last week or so. And I have some thoughts. I'm not a huge fan of it, mainly for the kind of residue and how it leaves my skin feeling. So I mentioned that some mineral sunscreens tend to be difficult to kind of wash off. It feels like it really like gets in the cracks of your skin, and it's really difficult to wash off in the shower. And also I think I might be like sensitive to certain sunscreens because they really like dry my skin out. So this one, unfortunately, that is the case. I haven't actually applied the sunscreen yet today, so you'll see just like how my skin is like without even after having showered, and what it looks like in the morning. Yeah, there you can kind of see that my skin is quite dry, and it wasn't like this when I was using the Attitude sunscreen. It kind of feels like, wow, it's really struggling to focus. It kind of almost looks like it's sunscreen residue, but it's like really dry skin, and it feels like my skin, I don't know, I feel like my skin is aged like 40 years. I don't know, it just feels dry and like papery, and yeah, I don't know, it wasn't like this with the Attitude sunscreen, so I'm not super thrilled about this. Sorry for just like the weird disembodied arm shot. This is like really difficult to show you. I'm gonna keep using it for a couple more days just to give it a fair shot, but so far I'm not liking how it makes my skin feel. It is like relatively easy to apply, so it does have that going for it, and it does kind of blend in pretty easily. It doesn't leave loads of a white cast, but I just, yeah, for me, like I really just don't like how it makes my skin feel. Also, the other thing is I find that the spray nozzle, like it sprays too wide and it feels like you're losing a lot of it, so I end up just having to spray it into my hand and then rub it onto my body, but that just feels like it kind of defeats the purpose of it being a spray. Like I could just do that with like a lotion bottle, like, so that's kind of annoying as well. Time for the ratings. So for application, it was very thick, but it blended out okay, so 3 out of 5 stars. White cast, as you saw, there was quite a bit of white cast, so 2 out of 5 stars. Experience, I found it very drying and hard to wash off, 2 out of 5. And value for money, it's only 30 SPF and you lose a lot of product, giving this 2 out of 5. Overall, my rating for the Boo Bamboo sunscreen is 2 out of 5 stars. So up next is the thinksport All Sheer Mineral Sunscreen Spray. I had high hopes for this one as I've tried others from the brand. My first impression was actually that it was pretty sheer actually, and it blended out pretty well without much of a white cast. As you can see with this initial spray, it's pretty sheer and it blended out pretty easily. Spoiler alert, this first impression does not reflect my final opinion of this sunscreen. But please enjoy these clips of my naive self thinking, wow, this is actually pretty nice. Maybe this is the best one I've tried so far. Little does she know, she will not think this for long. Don't mind my greasy bangs, but I'm back doing another clip about the thinksport 50 SPF mineral sunscreen. So this is strange because the other clip that I filmed outside of my first impressions of this, it actually was super sheer. Like when I sprayed it on, it wasn't white at all. And when I rubbed it in, like there was no white cast. And then like in the next few times I've used it, it's been like really white. So like I'll show you, it's super weird. Hopefully you can see that okay. Can you see that? How white that is? It was not like that. I also got some on the wall. It was not like that the first time I tried it, and like, I don't know if you can see, it's got quite a bit of white cast, which is just disappointing because my first impression, I was like, whoa, like this actually might be my favorite out of the three. But as you can see, something has changed. I don't know if I just didn't like shake it enough the first time, and maybe like it was just the liquid separated from the actual sunscreen. So this very quickly went from, oh, maybe my favorite out of the three to perhaps my least favorite out of the three, because it's a lot more difficult to apply now. It makes my skin really, really dry, and it's really difficult to wash off. Out of all three, it leaves the most amount of residue on my skin, which is really annoying. Like, no matter how many times I shower, I still have like white, like faint white residue in like the cracks of my elbows and like all the little lines in my skin. I'm still testing it to give it a fair shot, but I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to not using this one again. Like you can see, it's so white. The other day we went paddleboarding. I'll actually insert a clip because we brought my dog for the first time and it was super cute. But we went paddleboarding and we brought the sunscreen with us, and I have a black bathing suit and it just completely stains like the bathing suit, which is really annoying because black bathing suits are really hard to like wash. It just ends up looking all dirty and gray, and I don't know, it's just irritating. They literally call it the all sheer mineral sunscreen. Like it's supposed to be sheer. So I'm not sure what they think sheer means, because this is not what my understanding of that word is. I just basically felt like a ghost the last few days. I haven't burned, so there's that. It also just takes ages. Like I feel like it takes so long to kind of blend it in all over. Like it's just really made me hate applying sunscreen, which I already do kind of hate applying sunscreen. So it's just made it even more of a chore, that it's like made me consider like not going outside, because I just really don't want to deal with putting the sunscreen on, which I shouldn't be actively avoiding going outside because I don't want to use the sunscreen. I feel like that in itself is like, says a lot. I'm working up a sweat here, like it's a real workout just putting this sunscreen on. I think I am now sufficiently ghostified. But yeah, I'm like literally out of breath from applying this sunscreen. Not the best. Not the best.
So I don't think my ratings will come as a surprise. Application, it was inconsistent, hard to blend, 1 out of 5. White cast, the worst out of all 4, 1 out of 5. Experience, it left a bad residue and really dry skin, 1 out of 5. Value for money, the only saving grace is the volume, 2 out of 5. My overall rating for the ThinkSport sunscreen is 1 out of 5 stars. Okay, last but not least, we have the Blue Lizard Sensitive Sunscreen Spray. And my first impression of this one was that it sprays pretty thin. It's a little bit patchy when I sprayed it onto my skin, but it's spread out very easily. and very sheer, pretty much no white cast at all, which is great. And it actually leaves a nice kind of slight sheen on the skin. It almost felt a bit moisturizing too, which was nice. As you can see here as well, a lot of the spray is lost in application. You can see a lot of it kind of just dissipates into the air. So I'm wondering how long this one is going to last me. We shall see. Subtle foreshadowing.
Hello. I'm actually in England now at my partner's mom's house, but I realized I haven't filmed that many clips of the Blue Lizard sunscreen. I've actually been using this one for a little while now, like a week and a bit, and I like it. It's like a little bit patchy when you spray it on, but then it's like so nice to blend in, and it doesn't leave like any residue on my skin really. And my skin hasn't been dry, and like you can see, there's like absolutely zero white cast whatsoever, which is beautiful. I initially wasn't going to include this in this video because I had looked at it in the store and I had like quickly scanned the ingredients list, and I didn't think it was vegan because it says in the ingredients, I just scanned quickly and I saw the word beeswax and I was like, okay, well that's not vegan, so I'm not gonna put that in the video. I'm not gonna bother trying that one. But then my mom had it and I took another look at it and I realized that it actually says synthetic beeswax, which I honestly had no idea was a thing. And I Googled it, and synthetic beeswax, as expected, is not real beeswax. And it is completely vegan. And I checked on the Blue Lizard website as well, and all of their products are vegan and cruelty free. So I was like, okay, perfect. So yeah, this was kind of like a bit of a last minute addition to this video, but a welcome one because I've really been enjoying it. And my partner likes it too because it's easy for him to apply on like his hairy legs, which that's something that he's really kind of looking for in a good sunscreen, that it's not too annoying to apply if you have hairy limbs. Yeah, and just like that, I'm done. It's actually really quick and easy to apply, a lot quicker than some of the other ones I've tested because there's not that much kind of like blending in you need to do. And I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of gives like a nice, can you see there? Like a nice sheen. You can see my watch band leaves a mark on my wrist, but it leaves like a nice sheen on the skin, which is kind of nice, and it doesn't feel drying at all. It actually feels a bit moisturizing, if anything, which is really nice. It doesn't leave any like white like residue. I can't think of any other word. It doesn't leave any white residue that I have to really scrub off in the shower, which is a huge plus for me. I will keep you posted as I keep using it. Hello again. It's literally only a few days later, but I wanted to do a clip because this has already run out. We only used it for like not even 2 weeks, like probably a week and a half, and it's already run out, which is a bit disappointing. I don't know if I was using way too much, like way more than you're supposed to use each time. But since it was a bit patchy when you apply, it felt like you had to apply quite a bit to get good coverage. That's kind of disappointing and kind of lowers my rating of this one, I think, because it is one of the cheapest out of all 4 that I've tried, but it's lasted the least amount of time. So I guess value for money wise, it's not that great, which is kind of sad because I was really enjoying using it and like how it felt while wearing it. And like, I still rate it highly for those things. But I guess just a note that it didn't last me very long. So yeah, disappointing.
You know the drill, time for the ratings. So application was patchy but easy to blend, 4 out of 5. White cast, none at all, 5 out of 5. Experience, it didn't even feel like I was wearing sunscreen, 5 out of 5 stars. And value for money, sadly, it ran out too quickly, 2 out of 5 stars. My overall rating for the Blue Lizard sunscreen spray is 4 out of 5 stars. Time for the head-to-head comparison. All 4 of these sunscreens had very different formulas and packaging. My final scores considered how likely I'd be to reach for them on a sunny day and whether or not I'd repurchase. It's no surprise that Attitude comes out on top, closely followed by Blue Lizard, Boo Bamboo in third, and ThinkSport gets a participation ribbon. Have you tried any of these sunscreens? Let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks for watching!